believe it's Ujjvala Nilamani, that Radharani brought him back to Vrindavan, and there's actually one chapter called The Marriage of Radha and Krishna. Now that's mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it's described that Rupa Goswami wrote 100,000 verses and 16 books. He wrote 16 books, 100,000 verses in Sanskrit. So, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda, who was, by his mercy, crossed the ocean with nothing but Krishna Prema, and the mercy of his spiritual master brought this great ocean of Krishna Prema to the world and to the most fallen in the West. We're very fallen, very sinful, and somehow Prabhupada has started this great movement of Lord Chaitanya. So I was listening to a devotee called Amarendra Prabhu, who reads a lot of these books by the great acharyas, and Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur, he wrote about Radharani. She was very protective of her relationship with Krishna. So one time, by her power, she ordered the Ganga and Yamuna, she summoned them up, and she had an area in Vrindavan where she brought the most beautiful swans and birds, the most beautiful flower trees, malika flower, jasmine flower, beautiful scented, fragrant flowers, and she wanted to always attract Krishna here, to keep him with her. So when the Ganga and Yamuna came, they came and joined, and they created an island. The island became known as Navadvip. Anyone knows this story? You look up Amarendra on YouTube, he has many stories from the great acharyas. So Madan Gopalji describes, first of all, that Krishna is the most beautiful Cupid. He's so beautiful that Srimati Radharani and the gopis were cursing Lord Brahma. Why? In fact, Radharani prayed, please allow me in my next birth to have the eyes of a fish, because they don't blink. Then I can always see this beautiful, beautiful, extraordinarily beautiful form of Madan Gopal. So they were cursing Lord Brahma like that. So we have no idea, but we know that Krishna was in Dwarka, and he was looking in the reflection of the floor, and he saw his form, and he thought, this form is so beautiful. Who is more beautiful in this form? Who has more qualities in this beauty? And he thought about Radharani. And, excuse me for a sec. So, he was thinking that, everyone is attracted to me, my name is Krishna, but who has hundreds of qualities better than mine? And who can really appreciate my beauty more than me? And therefore, he appeared in Kali Yuga in the mood and color of Radharani. But there's the Bahir Anga reason, the outward reason why he appeared here, and that is to give freely this prema bhakti, pure devotion. But there's also the internal reason why he appeared, and that is that he wanted to taste this incredible amount of bhakti prema bhakti, this incredible love that Srimati Radharani had experiencing all the time for Krishna. And he entered into the heart of Rupa Goswami, as described by Krishna's Kaviraj, that Krishna entered the heart of Lord Brahma and enlightened him with all the knowledge of Vedas. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered into the heart of Rupa Goswami. Now, Rupa Goswami isn't an ordinary person. He's actually Radharani's first and foremost manjari. When Jatila forbade Radharani from going to the house of Krishna, you may have read this book. It's called Chandra Chamatkara. It's a book written by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Radharani was lying on the ground, and her body was burning in the fever of separation from Krishna. So Dhanista, she came from Nandagram, very close friend of Radharani, and Vishaka and Lalita, and she whispered something in Vishaka's ear. So she came there, and Mother Yashoda asked her to come and ask Radharani to make some sweetmeats for Krishna, and she would deliver, Dhanishta would deliver them back to Nandagram. So she came, and she whispered in Radharani's ear. Radharani was lying on the ground, burning in the fever of separation from her beloved. She said, Radharani, your beloved is here. Get up now and make some nice sweetmeats, laddu, and other sweets for your beloved Krishna, and I will take it to Nandagram. So Radharani, on hearing the name Krishna, she immediately woke up and ran to the kitchen, and she called on Rupa Manjari. Rupa Manjari, start the fire, collect the ingredients. Now I'm going to make nice sweetmeats for my beloved. It's mentioned there that although the fire was very hot, Radharani's feeling like it was the cooling snows of the Himalayas. This is the beauty of Prema Bhakti, that all opposites become perfect. Something like the Yamuna River may become solid, and the stones, when they hear the flute of Krishna, they become liquid. So Radharani made these sweets, and the story goes on how Krishna disguises himself as a doctor. Does anyone know this story? Okay. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
What happened was, Radharani was coming home really happy every day from Queen Yashoda's house. Every day she would be requested, come and cook for Krishna, because she was given the benediction from Durvas Muni. Every day she would never cook the same thing, and no one could ever cook like her, unparalleled. There was no competition. That was the benediction of Durvas Muni. So of course Mother Yashoda had to have her over every day. Jatila, the mother-in-law, she noticed that Radharani was exhibiting some ecstatic symptoms of love of God, conjugal symptoms. And she thought, this is very inappropriate. Whoever allowed their daughter-in-law to go to another man's house and cook every day? It's just not acceptable. So she convinced her daughter Kutila to forbid Radharani from going to Krishna and cooking for him. So Krishna became very morose. Although Rohini was cooking for him, he wasn't himself. He was besides himself. Where's Radha? Where's Radha? Vipralamba. Separation. He's tasting the separation from Radha. Radharani, in her chambers, was lying on the ground, and her body was like embers. So Vishaka and Lalita, they prepared a bed of lotus petals, and then they embellished it, they smeared it with sandalwood pulp to make it cool. But when Radharani lay on it, it turned into embers. She was burning in the fire of separation. So then Dhanishta and Purnamasi and all the friends of well-wishers of Krishna hatched a plot. And when Dhanishta came over to get the sweetmeats, she whispered something in Vishaka's ear. So after Dhanishta left, Vishaka went to Radharani and whispered something in Radharani's ear. And Radharani immediately fell down on the ground unconscious. And Vishaka, she ran out of the room. She was screaming, "Oh my God, oh no, Jatila, Jatila, a serpent has bitten Radharani on her hand, a very poisonous serpent." Radharani was in the garden and she saw a jewel. She had dropped the jewel, but when she went to pick up the jewel, it was a serpent. And the serpent bit her on her hand, and now the poison is traveling up towards her heart. What will we do? In this way, Jatila became totally traumatized, overwhelmed by anxiety. She was completely beside herself, and she was calling, Abhimanyu, hurry up, go to the city, to Mathura, and bring a doctor who knows how to neutralize poison. And then Radharani said, "I have taken a vow. If any man touches me, I will immediately give up my life." So Jatila was just rolling on the ground. She was so traumatized. What shall we do? What shall we do? And then one Vishaka said, "Well, you know, Krishna, that cowherd boy in Nandagram, he subdued Kaliya, and he also killed Aghasura. He seems to know a lot about snakes. Why don't we, petition him to come?" And Radharani opened her eyes and said, "That woman thief, he scandalized my name all over Vrindavan. If you say his name again, I'll give my life up." So she was like this. So this is all part of a big plot. So then Jatila was so much anxiety. She said, "Let's go and ask Purnamasi." Purnamasi was known as, she's the mother of...
She's the grandmother of Madhumanga.
Madhumanga, I think she's the daughter of Gargamuni. Yes, something like that. She's related to Gargamuni. Yes. So, they went looking for Purnamasi, and Purnamasi said, "Well, I don't know much about mantras and tantras for snake poison, but Gargamuni's daughter, Gargi, she's expert in mantras and tantras. Why don't we go and ask her?" So as they were walking to the house, and Jatila is saying, hurry up, and Vishaka is saying, "The poison's moving, we only have half an hour, 45 minutes, hurry up." They went to Gargi's house, and Gargi, she said, "Oh, you have a snake poison problem? Well, just by coincidence, my sister's here from Kashi. Her name is Vidyavali, and she's married to a very high-birth Brahmin in Kashi. They know all mantras and tantras, they know all Sanskrit, they're big, big Brahmins. So why don't we approach her?" So they went to Vidyavali, who had a bluish complexion. They said, "Vidyavali, can you please help? Our daughter-in-law has been bitten by this snake, and we need some mantras, some tantras, some herbs. Please help. There's very little time left." And Vidyavali said, "I'm not in the habit of going door to door chanting mode of ignorance Tamagun mantras about snake poison." He says, I'm a Brahmin. I'm very high Brahmin family. What will happen to my reputation?" And then Vishaka said, "You have no idea about these inhabitants of Vrindavan. They're far higher than you Brahmins. They're all fully absorbed in pure love of Vraj, Krishna. They'll do anything for Krishna. How dare you insult the inhabitants of Vrindavan?" And then Vidyavali said, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." And then she brought up that, in my throat I'm keeping the herbs. No, in my throat I'm keeping the tantras, the mantras, for neutralizing snake poison. And between my teeth I'm chewing on the herbs, which will also dissipate this poison. The patient, I have to transfer these herbs to the patient's mouth. do you think that's all right? And Jatila said, I've never heard of this kind of treatment. So Vishaka intervened and said, in the case of death and crisis, any kind of measure can be taken to, save the patient's life. Okay. So they went to the house, Abhimanyu's house, and Vidyavali, the doctor, the female doctor, she came and she's looking at Radharani lying there, and she said, first of all, I have to take my hands and search how far the poison has traveled up her body. Take her clothes off. So Radharani was disrobed, lying there. And then as he was touching Radharani went into ecstasy and frothing. There's 8 symptoms of love of God, material symptoms: standing up the hairs on end, perspiring, frothing at the mouth. Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he exhibited all these symptoms when he was dancing and chanting at the Jagannath Rath Yatra. So Radharani was moaning and turning, Krishna's touching her, and then Vidyavali, said, okay, everyone out of the room, this poison is far too poisonous, I'm going to have to summon the serpent. So everyone left the room, but Vishaka said, put your ear to the door and listen to what is going on. So Jatila is like this at the door, outside, and then Vidyavali assumes the voice of a serpent and the voice of Vidyavali. Krishna assumes these voices. Oh serpent, where did you come from? I've come from Kailash. Who has sent you? Lord Shiva. Why did he send you? Jatila has offended my incarnation, Durvas Muni. How did he offend her? She has been suspicious about your daughter-in-law having some nefarious affairs at Krishna's house. She's offended Durvas Muni like this. After all, Durvas Muni gave the benediction to Radharani that she always be chaste. Oh, so why did you bite Radharani? Why didn't you bite Jatila? And the serpent said, the pain that she feels, separation from her daughter-in-law, and then I'm going to bite Abhimanyu too. That pain is far greater than the pain if I just bit her. So Jatila's outside the door and she's going, oh, I'm a crazy woman, please do anything. And she's totally overwhelmed and, traumatic and crying and screaming. And she's saying, I'm just a crazy woman, I'm so sorry, what can be done? And then Vidyavali is questioning the serpent. And the serpent is giving direction how to resolve Radharani's problem. And everyone's listening at the door. And then the serpent said, okay, this time I'll forgive. And here's the remedy and how you can administer it. And then the serpent's Vidyavali in the serpent's voice said, Krishna in the serpent's voice said, now I'm going to leave, but if Jatila ever does this again, I'll come and bite the whole family. And then, they opened the door, and then they came in and asked Radharani how she was doing. Oh, I feel much, much better now. And then when they looked at the time, Vidyavali said, Krishna in the form of Vidyavali, disguised as Vidyavali, said, oh, we should go now, we should go back to Nandagram. And then Jatila said, no, it's midnight, it's way too late, you'll have to stay here. And then Vishaka said, she piped in, she said, yeah, actually, you should stay with the patient overnight in case, there's a relapse. And Jatila then volunteered, she said, on my roof there's a beautiful bed and a bedroom there, and the patient and the doctor can stay up there in the room all night. So Radharani was thinking, how is this that my mother-in-law has arranged for my beloved to come and lie with me under the skylight in my own house? In this way, the whole scam was revealed by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Ki Jai. So this is Madan Gopalji. He's a very mischievous fellow, Lord Krishna. He's always playing tricks and doing all kinds of mischievous activities in Vrindavan. Although he's God himself, by the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself coming here in this area 500 and so plus years ago, and trying to give this ocean of mercy throughout the entire world. We're in the beginning phase. How old is this fund? 60? 70? It's about as old as we are. Maybe 75, 80 years old. So we're in the beginning stage of this great movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I can imagine if all these great personalities came to this place. This is Sachimata's home. They all came here. I mean, when Gauranga Mahaprabhu took birth at Yoga Pit, you can imagine all the demigods that come just in the form, disguised as Brahmins. The Supreme Lord has this plan, and we are all parts of his plan to spread this mercy in this Kali Yuga, the age of darkness. That they don't understand that when they have a nice steak or a hamburger over there in Los Angeles and New York, Seattle, Vancouver, where we come from, every hair on that cow, one birth in Maharurava, hellish planet described in the 5th canto. So billions and billions of lifetimes they're going to suffer after taking this human form of life. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing all these beautiful songs. Jeev Jago, wake up. And our business is to wake everyone up. Time to wake up. Chant the holy names of the Lord. Even, of course, the Muslims, they were chanting Hare Krishna when Lord Chaitanya appeared. It was a lunar eclipse, and they were imitating the Hindus, oh, Hare Krishna. But Haridas Thakur says to Lord Chaitanya, I want to relieve your anxiety. There's so much anxiety for all your parts and parcels. Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke. He's the Father. And they're all rotting in the material world. And he said, if anyone chants Krishna, even if it's a broken, like I'm going to the Ramada Inn. There's the Ramada Inn in the West. And as soon as they say Rama, all their sinful reactions are completely neutralized in that one Rama. Or they say, the Muslims sometimes swear when they're being gored by a pig. Ha, Rama, how abominable. At that point, they become neutralized. They get mukti. So this is the mercy of the holy name. We have no real idea how powerful this name, Nama Chintamani Krishna, Kali Kalera Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. The name of God is so powerful. It is dissipating this darkness of this Kali Yuga. Our business is simply to try and give it to everyone. Even most people I meet here in West Bengal, they come to our Mayapur, and they look so much sattvic. And I say, oh, you must be vegetarian. You got a nice glow. Oh no, we're non-veg. 90%. So they also are getting bad karma for, causing the slaughter of these innocent creatures who are Krishna's children also. So we have to be merciful, not at, I was born in Navadvip, I was born in Nadia district. Okay, but you've defaulted. So everyone needs the mercy. Everyone needs this mercy of the holy name. And many, many people, when I first came to India, Mayapur in 1977, I never saw people walking around in Mayapur with bead bags. None. It was just the front gate, the temple, and the long building, and we slept on the roof with all the mosquitoes. That was it. And everyone got sick. And then, now we see hundreds and thousands of people chanting japa. It's spreading throughout, especially in West Bengal, their taste for the holy name is really very, very, you know, large, big, you know. When we did Padayatra all over India, when we came to West Bengal, it was quite different. It was like so much more response. It's in their blood or something. They're all like going crazy chanting Hare Krishna when we had the Padayatra. So our business is to spread the mission and help Śrīla Prabhupāda's mission, empowered, you know, great devotee of the Lord, very empowered, and so compassionate. And this is the future for the world for 10,000 years, to create this beautiful halo of protection. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, Lord Nityananda's lotus feet. We want to give it to everyone. Just a drop, it says one drop of the nectar of Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet will drown the entire world in love of God. Yeah. And that's what they did when they were here. They drowned everyone, fit or unfit. Adi Leela, chapter 7. Panchatattva was dancing, and people who were fit or unfit got to drown in this ocean of prema. So the prema is there. You simply have to take shelter of Śrīla Prabhupāda and the Parampara system, and gradually everything will be given to us. It will take great determination, but it's dormant within our hearts, and slowly it's unfolding. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Hridayate. Krishnaya Krishna. Brahma Mahaprabhu wants to give this, but it will take us a lot of enthusiasm and determination. But this prema is available. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda.
Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
All glories
Jai.
to the devotees of Lord Chaitanya.
Hare Rama.